Here we are in game 3 of the draft event. Uh, Looking at this opening hand, tempted to play the Delver. I think Delver is a good early threat. Don't know what my opponent's playing. Given that I don't know what my opponent's playing, I think I'm going to take the Life Shaper Savant. I think my deck could get good use out of Life Shaper Savant. Probably looking at Nexus Pilot plus Forge Guardian Beta here. Possibly doing a Nexus Pilot plus an Enrage, depending on what he plays. Just thinking back to the last game, I think that leveling the Forge Guardian Beta last game was a mistake. The Forge Guardian Beta is in this deck really to give me a bit of a stronger late game, but going up against somebody who's playing Technosmith, I need to assume that they're going to out late game me, and if I'm going to be out late gamed by his Technosmiths regardless, playing the Forge Guardian was probably inferior. Leveling my Grove Huntress as a more aggressive play, I think, really was the answer there. And that's one of the hard things in SoulForge, is figuring out, especially with draft decks, that draft decks oftentimes, as compared to constructed decks, are able to operate at a variety of different speeds, and figuring out how aggressive versus how late game you want to be thinking in a particular game is a challenge, and is a judgment call that I often get wrong, but I'm working on it. So he left me the middle lane open, although his Zephyr Mage could give his Shard Plate move if he wanted. I think there's no reason to... let's see. Yeah, I think there's no reason to hit Enrage here. I'm going to do Forge Guardian Beta instead. See how he responds. Aegis Conscript, depending on how he blocks, Aegis Conscript on the Nexus Pilot could be strong. Depending on what he does, the Strength and Numbers could be good here. Because he's playing Tempest Alloyin, Battle Droid is definitely something I want to level against Tempest Alloyin. Tempest Alloyin tends to be a combination that doesn't do very well against armor. He can't grow his creatures. Yeah, he doesn't have the Enrage mechanics that Uterra does, which can help them sometimes grow big enough to kill the armored guys, and he also is missing the... missing the Necreum minus health, which is very good against armor. Really what he wants to do against armor is he wants to use something like a heavy artillery or primordial slam to get through a heavily armored guy, but that's interesting. Okay. But I don't know if he has much in the way of attack boosts in his deck yet. He might, but let's see. So playing the Battle Droid, and then so Nexus Pilot will be left at 3 health. If I put some armor on the Nexus Pilot, it'll be at 4 health with 1 armor. That's not a big difference. Could do +3/+3. Actually, +3/+3 is enough to save my Life Shaper Savant. Perhaps I want to do that. So I think I'm happy to have the Strength and Numbers leveled. Playing Avatar and Roar here is probably going to be quite good. He's probably going to lose 2 creatures. Probably going to do a trade in both lane 1 and lane 3. Lose 2 creatures, and then roaring to get a 9/9 avatar and a... oh, interesting. It's not what I expected. Oh, even better. Oh, this is... very interesting. Huh. I don't think this changes my plan much. I guess the question is whether or not to block with the Root Forged Avatar. But I think... yeah, anyway, if he wants to use his Wildfire Maiden can kill my Life Shaper, but I'm not afraid of that. And I get another all Uterra hand. So going heavy Uterra is paying off here with the Avatar, and hopefully will pay off a little bit later with the Life Shaper. The moment I'm thinking about using my Venom Fang to block his Wildfire Maiden, unless he activates the Wildfire Maiden. Wildfire Maiden actually is a card I really like. I think it's an incredibly well-designed card. It creates really interesting decisions with regards to when you get to activate the ability essentially once. In some circumstances, you can get a second activation of it if you pump up the power with something like a Alloyin General or a Heavy Artillery. But in general, you get one activation of the card, and figuring out when to activate versus when to hold the attack on the creature is a challenging decision, one that's easy to get wrong, and in general, I like cards that give players difficult in-game decisions, even if I often make those decisions wrong. I think it's a high skill cap card, which is good for the game. Now, Venom Fang is actually no longer looking like a good play. I'm going to toss out my Root Forge just to get the body off the board. I don't want to give him the opportunity to hit that with like a Primordial Slam later in the game and get some additional value off of it. Sometimes a 0/5 Wildfire Maiden is scary late game, because if you do something like Primordial Slam it, it can hit the opponent once, then after combat you activate the ability, hit your opponent a second time, and you can get a lot of player damage off at relatively low cost. So it's good not to leave those just laying around. Probably the play here is the Forge Guardian beta. Blocks with a Zephyr Mage, so he's not going to be able to activate that. And I think I want to leave the middle lane free in case I draw my Nexus Pilot next turn. So, actually tempted to try the Aegis Pulse here. Having the Root Forge... So if I Aegis Pulse, it leaves my Root Forged Avatar is going to take 4 damage, be left at 7 health plus an armor. Means that it can't be taken out by any... yeah, I think can't be taken out by any level 1 creature he might have. So... yeah, so he now has to do 8 damage to it, and 8 damage is significant because Alloyin and Tempest don't have... well, I guess he could have a Stormcaller. Stormcaller's the one level 1 card that he have that could take out my Root Forged Avatar. But it makes the Root Forged Avatar significantly harder to kill. If I hadn't used the Aegis Pulse, the Root Forged Avatar would have been at 6 health. And there's a lot of level 1 creatures that he could use to do 6 damage. Okay, well that did not work out quite the way I'd hoped. I was hoping he would not draw 2 powerful level 2s. Maybe the Aegis Pulse was a questionable play there. However, I have a nice life lead. Because I have a nice life lead, I'm just going to play aggressively. The Forge Guardian Beta is going to be difficult with the Roar. Going to be difficult for him to take out. Other than his Shardblade, now that he's played the Shardblade Assassin, I don't think he has anything that can deal 12 damage. Probably what I'm looking at here is Life Shaper Savant plus Enrage. Life Shaper Savant plus Enrage would allow me to boost both my Orion Battle Droid and my Forge Guardian Beta. Probably both of them, or give a larger boost to just one of them. So that's 9. 9 damage to kill my Beta, 11 damage to kill my Battle Droid. I think I want to spread the buffs around. I'm taking a lot of damage here, but I've got him down to 3 life, which is reasonable. And here's Ferocious Roar. So, Ferocious Roar gives all my creatures breakthrough. In particular, my Life Shaper Savant gains breakthrough, and so this should be game. Possible that I was playing overly aggressive here at the end. I'm taking a lot of damage from his Shard Plate and from his Forge Plate Sentry. On the other hand, I'm generally of the school of thought that if my opponent has some scary creatures in his deck like Forge Plate Guardian 3, Actually, he doesn't. It's possible with my Forge Guardian Beta, possible that my level 3 deck is actually a little bit stronger than his level 3 deck, and so maybe I didn't need to play quite that aggressively. But when I'm playing Uterra, I like to err on the side of being aggressive. And let's see what my opponent does. In any case, I think this game is over. I'm not sure what's taking him so long, but looks like this draft finish up 2-1, like the other drafts in this series. I don't plan them out ahead of time to be 2-1, but maybe one of these days we'll do a draft video where I manage to pull off a 3-0. But this is a great example of what I like to do with Uterra Alloyin. Obviously, I'm not always lucky enough to get multiple Ferocious Roars, but this is a fun deck. Definitely one of my favorite archetypes when it comes together. So, thank you very much for watching the draft video, and look forward to seeing you in the 4th installment.